Question: Guruji, how are these impressions and desires formed? How should we observe them, both the ones that were formed in the past and the ones we are creating right now?
Answer: whatever impressions have been gathered in your consciousness from your past lives, they create very deep grooves. They get imprinted on your consciousness, much like a carved canal. Because of this, when you sit in meditation, those same impressions repeatedly surface in your conscious mind. These are simply all your accumulated past karmas. In your present life, if you perform any action without awareness, that too creates new impressions. They may not manifest immediately, but after some time, they will also begin to show up. Therefore, your first effort should be to live in a continuous state of awareness, no matter what you are doing. Do not live in a dreamlike state. Sometimes this becomes very difficult, but always try your best to remain fully aware. Whatever work you do, do it with full presence and mindfulness. When you do that, your actions will not leave imprints on your consciousness. As for the old impressions that are already imprinted, go into meditation and simply observe them as a witness. As you observe them, they will rise to the surface. You will feel as though you are reliving them, as if they are happening to you right now. But after some time, and with consistent spiritual practice, they too will dissolve and fade away, though this process takes time. If you reach the state of ecstasy, your individual consciousness merges with the Supreme Consciousness. In that state, all the impressions residing within your consciousness are completely nullified. So, in your current state, perform every action with full awareness. Mindfully observe your old impressions during meditation. As your spiritual practice deepens and you gradually approach the state of ecstasy, all those old impressions will completely dissolve. If you reach the state of ecstasy, your individual consciousness merges with the Supreme Consciousness. In that state, all the impressions stored within your consciousness become zero. They dissolve completely.
Question: Guruji, you often say that when impurities such as lust, anger, greed, pride, and jealousy arise, we should simply observe them silently without reacting, just as we watch children. Could you explain this principle more deeply? Many times, our thoughts carry us away, and we fall back into our old patterns.
Answer: these tendencies, such as lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego, are simply the natural tendencies of the mind. Living in this world, it is extremely difficult to keep the mind under control. In fact, you cannot control the mind directly. The simplest way to quiet the mind is to give it as little nourishment as possible. Where does the mind receive its nourishment? It receives it through your breath. When you are in your mother's womb, there is no mind as we know it. There is only pure consciousness. At that stage, breathing does not exist in the ordinary sense. In the same way, when you begin to pay deep attention to your breath, the breath gradually becomes slower and more subtle. As the breath slows down, the mind also begins to dissolve. Its strength gradually weakens. The moment the power of the mind decreases, the power of consciousness begins to increase. Understand this deeply. Reflect on the difference between the state inside the mother's womb and the state after birth. As consciousness grows stronger and the mind grows weaker, the light of consciousness naturally begins to shine upon these mental tendencies. Do not misunderstand this as physically staring at them with your eyes open. Rather, when these tendencies come into the light of consciousness, they begin to lose their strength on their own. This transformation takes time. Do not become discouraged by anything. The universe is endless, and so are our problems. Therefore, if you experience even a small amount of progress on this path, consider it a great blessing and the grace of the divine. The real problem is that the mind expects everything to happen within a day or two. But these tendencies have been with you for many lifetimes. Who knows how many births they have accompanied you through? On the other hand, the expansion of consciousness has only just begun. Perhaps you made a little progress in a previous life, but it was still not enough for consciousness to fully blossom. For the expansion of consciousness, always remember one thing. Whatever you are doing, keep observing that the witnessing consciousness within you is watching everything. Even if your attention turns in that direction only a little, your impurities will gradually begin to fade. What does it mean to turn your attention there? It means remaining inwardly established in consciousness itself. The moment you become one with consciousness, you naturally feel that consciousness is witnessing everything. As a result, these mental tendencies slowly begin to weaken. This is not only about the food you eat. You also receive nourishment from the people you spend time with. The conversations you have, the things you watch, whether movies or anything else, all of these are also forms of nourishment. They are food for the senses. These 5 tendencies are fed through the senses. Our senses are always directed outward. Whether it is the ears, the eyes, or the nose, they remain open to the external world, and whatever enters through them leaves its effect within us. As long as there is no inner awakening, the influence of the outer world will naturally continue. Therefore, whatever you do in the external world, remain aware of your inner witness, your witnessing consciousness. In the beginning, this may seem difficult, but gradually it becomes natural. Especially when you notice that these tendencies are becoming very strong within you, place even greater attention on the witnessing consciousness. By doing so, you will gradually gain mastery over them with increasing ease. However, do not think that if you succeed today, you will never face them again tomorrow. This is an ongoing process. As long as there is breath within us, as long as we are alive, this cycle of inner balance and imbalance will continue. Remove the idea from your mind that one success guarantees permanent success. That is not how it works. Just as you need food every day, you also need meditation every day. This continues until your very last breath. Such is the divine play of Maya.